Hello and welcome to Today in Film Episode 2. Me, your host, Dominic Parry, and...
Greg Toby.
And Harry Gibbons.
Today we're going to be talking about Django, the original 1966 film by Sergio Corbucci, starring Franco Nero. Now, because of the film itself, we're going to be talking about the influence it's had on kind of pop culture, so we are going to focus on Django Unchained as well by Quentin Tarantino. However, before we get into that, we're going to talk about this week's news. So, Harry, do you want to start us off with Studio Ghibli?
Or I don't have the exact details. I think Greg's probably more suited
sorry.
for that.
Sorry.
Yes, I've got it here. Studio Ghibli are going to do their first CGI film, which is interesting, by Hayao Miyazaki and Goro Miyazaki, called Aya and the Witch. Should be interesting.
And
I mean, definitely, because that's sort of completely against their sort of mantra up until that point, as you could say, with mostly the 2D with elements of 3D sort of drawing style.
No, definitely, yeah. I mean, the book that it's based off is the author also wrote Howl's Moving Castle, which is quite cool.
Wow.
Now I'm not going to add anything on that because I don't know anything to add about that. So this week, due to unforeseen circumstances, there hasn't been a huge amount of news. However, two small bits of news are Mission Impossible 7 is aiming to restart shooting in September, and Ridley Scott has expressed interest in kind of revitalizing the Alien franchise. Again, yeah. So,
I mean, it's a strange concept again.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. And I think Simon Pegg saying about Mission Impossible 7, it's kind of, he probably just wanted to get it out there. But Harry, do you want to...
No, totally.
Do you want to take the Ryan Gosling to play Wolfman?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, Variety sort of the leading news source on this Ryan Gosling case, which broke the same night as our initial episode with our unlucky timing. However, it's sort of their new design since the failing of their monster universe and the dark universe that Universal planned with the not so prevalent success of Mission Impossible's Tom Cruise in was it The Mummy? Was it just called The Mummy?
Yeah, The Mummy. Yeah, wow. Which weren't all that great.
No. So they seem to be deciding to give the licenses as a sort of legacy project to certain directors. Earlier this year, we had Elizabeth Moss's The Invisible Man, directed by Lee Winnell. So it seems to be that the directors are coming to Universal to pick their monster film that they want to do and how they would present it. And the news recently is that Ryan Gosling pitched an idea for this Wolfman script, which is said to be being written by the two writers of Orange is the New Black. So I guess, any ideas, guys? What do you think? Are you excited?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Do you want to go ahead, Greg?
Yeah, sure. I mean, from what I've heard about it, it's going to be along the same lines of Nightcrawler, which is, one of my favorites. But Ryan Gosling is a sort of unexpected choice, but, I'm looking forward to it nonetheless.
I think the Nightcrawler aspect is what kind of interests me the most, because that is such a great film. And to have a supernatural twist on that, like, just looking at that film, you could see how they could chuck one in. Like,
absolutely.
Obviously, it's not going to be the same film. But what were you going to say, Harry?
It seems to be Gosling's idea as well, which is kind of strange. It's like he may have seen the sort of influences of films like Nightcrawler and wanted to ground this sort of monster movie in the present day. And this is completely on the spot, but I've just maybe they are still trying to do the Dark Universe, because The Invisible Man have you guys seen The Invisible Man?
I haven't.
Not yet.
I haven't, but I know it's technology based.
Yeah, it's not really a spoiler to say that it's set
No.
now or like, the near future. It's very similar to 2017's The Mummy. So it's kind of, I wouldn't put it past them to subtly be, releasing these yearly monster movies and then all of a sudden have a team up or have the announcement that they've been connected this time.
Oh yeah, but so looking at the news on it, Lauren Schuker Bloom or Blum, is that Blumhouse?
That's what I thought instantly
Because
as well, because Invisible Man was,
Yeah.
I believe.
The only reason I know that is because I saw an interview with Stephen Merchant talking about his connections with Blumhouse, and I don't know. I'm not.
What does that involve? Is he a
no,
writer for them? Or?
No, he was saying about how he was on something. I think it was like Tooth Fairy with one of the Blum
Right.
people, but that's a few weeks back on something else. So it's a
You could be
strange
right
one.
though. There's something there.
It's a strange one because there's not a lot of information on it, which doesn't surprise you because it has just been announced. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but look out for that, definitely.
yeah, so I think.
Oh, by the way, I was just reading here in 2014, Blumhouse and Jason Blum, I believe his name is the key figure. Yeah, Jason Blum in 2014 signed a first look deal with Universal Pictures. That can make a lot of sense.
Oh yes, all connected
because they are the horror
Yeah,
kind of picture house.
the guys.
So I think the only I think that's all the news actually.
Basically,
sadly,
we'd just be scraping, wouldn't we? I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, yeah. Looking at the news, there's nothing else that jumps out that's kind of stands out as kind of important in any sense of the word. So I think we should probably only what are we on now? Only 7 minutes in, we're going to have to talk about the main topic. So,
I mean, yeah, because like there's only Screen Rant are talking about the Jar Jar Binks actor returning as Jar Jar Binks, but that's a hypothetical.
that's
talking about
it's Screen Rant.
Exactly,
Yeah.
cut scenes from Shazam.
Rumors.
It's clearly not enough news to be, the solid stuff that we'd like to report.
Yeah. So
No, so big apologies on that.
I think so. A bit of background. So Django, 1966, directed by Sergio Corbucci, starring Franco Nero as Django. Although it is dubbed over, although I'm not entirely certain who the voice actor essentially was, because I've seen two different kind of results come up. So I don't want to say until.
Yeah, his name was Tony Russell.
Tony Russell.
Are you sure? Because when I was watching it earlier, it had a different name, but I can't remember what that name was.
Wow.
So that's the issue I've run into here.
It's tough because it's Italian, of course, with the spaghetti
Yeah.
western era. So it's tough that we can't sort of narrow it down.
Well, I say that because the voice sounded identical, but there was a few differences in a few little differences around the film that like the version I watched earlier. So at the end of it, instead of saying Finn or whatever it was, fine.
Yes.
It said the end, just the end.
Right.
So
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on there. Like whether Amazon has the Italian version essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah. So basically, there was only one direct sequel, which was Django Strikes Again. There was actually a third one announced technically in 2016 called Django Lives. Django Lives, I think, was the.
Django Lives.
I think that was the actual. I think that was the title. I'm not sure if it was Lives Again.
No, just lives with an exclamation mark.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Django Lives. No news on that since 2017. Bit of a shame that, because it would
Is that
be
a Tarantino sequel or
no. It is Franco Nero. That is
Wow.
71 years old or something like that. I think he is.
71-year-old
God.
Django.
That would be a hell of a film. I'd go and watch that
Sign me
for
up.
sure. As long as he was voicing it. But obviously, the big kind of claim to fame Django has is its kind of influence. So it influenced over 30 different kind of, not sequels, but films that took the name, some of which didn't even include the character.
No,
Or
exactly.
a
They just
character,
shoved the Django name on the poster.
because they knew it would sell. So this was kind of most famously done in 2012 by Quentin Tarantino with Django Unchained, starring Jamie Foxx and Christoph Waltz. I think I might have forgotten.
Yes.
Yep, Christoph Waltz.
Yes.
But basically, those two films are very different. There's a few little similarities, but it's more so a kind of spiritual influence.
Successor.
Yeah. So
I mean, Franco, he appears in it for a cameo,
he
Franco Nero,
does.
Such is
Such
a
good
lovely
scene.
nod from
Mm.
Quentin.
I think the good part is it's the start of the film is very much it's quite similar, like how it's done. So you have the Django theme song playing over the kind of desert landscape with the people walking, and then I completely blanked now. I've completely blanked. Basically, that was it. So
the
it
Mexicans.
says, it's like something in friendly participation with Franco Nero. So in that first credit bit, he has like a special bit that says, "Yeah, he's all right with us doing this," because Sergio Corbucci died in 1990 something, I think.
Oh, shame.
So that's kind of obviously there's no reason to kind of bring him into it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts on Django, the original? This is.
No, really liked it, actually. No, sorry, Harry?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, I sort of agree exactly with what you said. It's quite a small film when you think about it.
Oh, it is.
Everything takes place in basically a town and then an outpost for the military scene, which, I mean, is a common occurrence in the westerns of the 60s and 70s, but it felt that they made such a big story from such a small, homage and familiar, what's the word? Commonly used sort of Western trope. I really, really enjoyed it.
The kind of mysterious, basically vigilante that comes in. I think it's fair to call Django vigilante at the start of the film.
Definitely.
Up until he steals the gold and shoots a bunch of Mexicans for no reason, really.
He's flawed.
Yeah. But I like how we don't get his story as such. We get little bits.
Yeah.
But he's very much a mystery man.
He's weirdly not two-dimensional.
He's
which
not.
He shouldn't. He should be. He fully should be. It's the man with no name who, the Django who comes into town with a gun and a bad attitude. He's kind of one of those, but he's like
And a coffin.
In a coffin.
It's
and he has respect for people, and he talks about a love in his past. He's surprisingly flawed, as you said, and a character that you somehow emotionally attach with, even though we know basically nothing but his name.
I think the fact that he kind of that first bit where you have Marie or whatever her name is, I can't remember.
Is it Marie?
Marie, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
When you have her being whipped by the Mexicans, and then they get shot, and you're instantly thinking, "Oh, Django saved her," and then you see, no, it's the KKK.
Yeah.
And then Django comes down and it's just I don't like what you're doing. Stop doing that. And it's weird because it feels like he's not even really intervening because he has a reason to. until you find out like he actually has got a reason to later on.
No,
It
yeah,
seems
like
like a
he's got
moral
motivation.
Yeah, he's ambiguous, like, to say the least.
Yeah.
Which is strange for a film that has very, very basic story where he goes and kills about 200 people. I mean, it's
I think
certainly...
that might be sort of one of its pluses, yeah.
Well,
the character that sort of
Yeah, for
obviously
that it was
spans
it was
30,
banned in
as
the
you said,
UK.
quote unquote sequels.
yeah. It's really difficult to kind of properly discuss this film because of how little kind of plot there is to it.
Yeah.
It's very much the guy turns up, shoots a bunch of people, shoots more people. The girl he saved says she likes him, so apparently he doesn't like her, and then he does like her, and then it's weird.
It is very strange.
But it's a very enjoyable watch.
And is it
No,
92%
definitely it's
on Rotten
effective.
Tomatoes?
I think it's high.
I saw it was so high as well because it's obviously this, as it says, like spans 30 sequels. It's a very important
92%.
Western. 92%.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, it looked
insane.
nice. But it's not the nicest looking. Obviously, it's sort of basis from Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo from what we're talking 5 years earlier. Looks nicer, and that's in black and white. Like
Sergio Leone's A Fistful of Dollars was, I think, 2 years earlier.
Yeah, and that looks nicer.
But
do you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The thing is, I think it was a low budget thing. I think.
No, definitely. It was a low budget remake.
Apparently, it made 1.026 billion euros in Italy.
What?
Oh wow, that's nice.
I don't know if that's right, but
is that inflation or?
I have no clue, but it might be.
That's mental.
And in 2012, when it re-released, because of I assume Django Unchained, it made just under $26,000. So not great, but obviously for a re-release,
you'll take it.
Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see why people like put the name Django on the poster.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
it's weird. We don't have cultural heroes like that sort of have that effect. We don't really have them in the Western world of cinema. We don't really have that film where it's just like, oh, we'll stick Darth Vader's name on the front. He sells well.
No, there's mainly because in the Western scape, a lot of them have like a kind of IP to them. Whereas I get the feeling Django didn't have an IP to it, so they were kind of free to just take it.
That would make a lot of sense.
Oh, Corbucci also wanted to make a film that would rival the success of A Fistful of Dollars, a Yojimbo adaptation directed by his friend Sergio Leone. So
right,
yeah, okay, yeah, it makes a bit more sense now. Yeah,
that's like we were saying before we started this recording. Back then there was a lot more kind of stealing of ideas and stuff because they weren't so hot on this kind of copywriting of all these things. But obviously, if they're friends, that makes it a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense for why they'd get away with it.
It seems like they both just wanted to do it, and they couldn't like sort of agree on how. So it's odd.
Yeah,
it's I guess who got to it first, which is obviously Sergio Leone. But it's just there's enough differences to make it like not like you're watching the exact same film twice or for a third time.
Have you seen A Fistful of Dollars?
I have, and I've seen Yojimbo. So
I have not seen either of those, but I'm talking about it like I know what it is. So apparently she's a mixed race prostitute.
I saw that as well. Maria is a strange character
I didn't know that. I thought she was
because of the
like
dubbing
white. Yeah,
and sort
that's
of the
strange
casting.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
I don't think it sort of works.
no.
She's
I think,
Italian, right?
Yes.
the actress.
Yes, I believe
Oh,
they're all. I think
That
pretty
was
much.
a lot of them are. That was the funniest bit, I think. So there's in the scene when uh, the general or something,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Major
General
Jackson.
Major
Major
Jackson.
Jackson, when he's shooting the Mexicans as they're running away, and it cuts to like around his men, and there's a guy who looks like he'd fit more with the Mexicans than the supposed KKK.
I think I know exactly who you mean in that
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
It
it,
happens
yeah.
to all of them. and
Yeah, yeah.
They all
Most of
look
them.
so Italian.
It's like I thought this guy was a racist, but
Yeah.
apparently he's fine with all these people. It's like, yeah, you could see the limitations they had.
Yeah, well, most of the best extras were off shooting other more big budget movies.
Wow.
Which I can't blame them for, because I mean it was a popular thing.
However,
No,
making
totally.
over $1 billion in Italy is unbelievable.
Could be inflation though.
It could be inflation. However, like
Yeah.
it seems.
Need to search
Well,
this. We need to.
There's
research this, but
823,000 admissions to the cinema in
Yeah.
France,
Oh,
which isn't
wow.
inflated, of course. That's just the actual figure.
No.
So if they spent, if they spent £1 each,
Not that one, you idiot. The original.
like that would be 823k, like that. So it's you can imagine that this might be a true figure to the time, which is very scary.
Why does Django drag a coffin? Says Google. I mean, if you watch the film, you'd know that. So
Wow.
Yeah.
watch the film and just, So, yeah. Apparently, it did make that much money because I can't see anything else on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I'm guessing it definitely outdid Django Unchained, the 2012.
Django Unchained made 450 million, I think.
I mean, that's very good from a
So
100
if-
mil budget.
Yeah, but if the original Django did make over $1 billion, so
Oh, yeah.
so 1,260,000, whatever, that is a hell of a lot of money. And
Yeah.
that's,
like Star
surely
Wars
gotta be
numbers.
rivaling. It is definitely Star Wars numbers.
I mean, would you rather go and see the new Django or the Endgame? I mean,
Yeah.
apparently
I
they're
guess it's
pulling
like
similar amount of money.
Yeah, it's like a cultural event, though, I imagine, because the spaghetti western genre in Italy was so huge. They were getting all the stars from America to go over and, make a couple of Italian pictures and then go back home. And so it's sort of
The
makes
failures
sense.
in America, essentially,
Hmm.
Yeah.
from what it seems. The ones who had kind of dwindling careers, they were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
go to America, go to Italy, and they'll take you."
For a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, they have the locations.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Most of them are filmed in Spain, if
And
I'm
a
not,
great location
if
it
I'm
is
not
too.
completely
It's-
making that up, I believe. So it's kind of,
it's so muddy.
yeah.
It's so muddy. Like when they're like
Oh.
falling into it and stuff, it's like, oh, that looks painful. Like it looks dirty as whatever. Like
As we say usually about spoilers and everything, so this is like a pretty big spoiler, but I didn't expect one of the film's major climax sort of moments to basically be like a Scooby-Doo quicksand sort of conundrum.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
oh, that was what's his name? Thingy's gun. The thing where it's like if you put a gun in a story, you have to use it.
Chekhov.
Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun.
Yes,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
That was the Chekhov's gun. It was the same with the coffin as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They put in these little things, like the quicksand. It could have been left, but then when they return, it's a bit like something's going to happen with that quicksand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like
Otherwise, it would have
something.
seemed so out of place just seeing that body of the Mexican.
Oh no, he died.
Hmm.
But I think. So, do you know about the? So in the film, the father or pastor or whatever his name is, the priest dude, forgotten his name. He's so minor.
Brother Jonathan.
Brother Jonathan. I knew one of you was coming there.
Is he the ear one?
Yeah, he gets his ear cut off by Hugo. And do you know what it inspired?
Go on.
Oh.
You don't? Oh, Reservoir Dogs. The scene where the police guy gets his ear cut off.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Comes from this?
Oh, the
Wow.
stuck in the middle of you scene.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's if you
Brilliant.
after watching Django, you can really see how this kind of inspired Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Well, not just this
Oh,
film,
absolutely,
but
yeah.
this genre of spaghetti western. I mean, you could even go so far as to say, like, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the saving grace of that story is the spaghetti western. That's what saves the career.
And isn't that from the Italian, as it says, he goes out, DiCaprio's character himself goes out to Italy to make a couple of pictures as well as his dwindling Hollywood career sort of comes to an end. It's
very...
so good.
Especially having, Django.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
So, Jamie Foxx played a version of Django.
Yeah.
And Franco Nero played a version of Django. He played the Django. Now, a bit of a weird question, but you've both watched Django Unchained, I assume.
Yes.
Yes.
Which Django do you prefer?
Oh,
Mm.
damn, that's a killer. Greg, I'm gonna play the ploy card here and throw you in
cheers,
front
mate.
of the firing line so I can think.
What a good save that.
I'm a saint, honestly.
Honestly, like, I'd 100% say this Django, Franco Nero. He's just such a elusive and very enigmatic character. I think he's got dimension to him. You don't know what he's thinking. Just a great character. How, whilst I still love Jamie Foxx's version, I definitely go with Franco Nero.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I think after watching Django Unchained yesterday, the end of that film, when he gets kind of caught and then he comes back, and it's like the kind of badass moment where he just kills everyone.
Oh God. Yeah.
He just like
It
shoots.
destroys the place.
Yeah.
Candyland.
That bit there, it's like, yeah, this guy's a badass. But then it's only for that moment. It's only for that little moment that you think this guy's a badass. Apart from when he's shooting the people before that, but then he loses then. But Django, the original Franco Nero, he's a badass the whole way through. Like even when he has his hands broken, he's still
He fires all
Exactly.
like 9 rounds or 6 rounds, whatever's
shots.
in that. Wow, it's crazy.
And it's,
Mm.
I mean, that line though, like where he shoots all of the guys, and he's just like, I have 1 bullet, so I've got the advantage.
Oh,
And he's just like, go and bring all your men, and then you'll have the advantage.
oh.
Just to trick him into coming with his nice machine gun.
It sort of sums it up even like if you put, so we're talking about that Candyland massacre at Calvin J. Candy's plantation at the end. Like if you put 1966 Django around that table,
God,
Schultz
with his
would not
machine
have been, with his machine gun, or even just a 6-shot pistol,
he would have killed
the
everyone.
amount of people he took out in that what would you call it, the saloon, where he even shot the guy directly behind him. He shot the guy on the stairs. Like he shot everyone. It was just, I think that's on a pure like violence and action and the things you sort of watch these westerns sort of for. That would make me sort of agree with both of you, like that this Django was
That's
my
why
Django.
if I was to kind of go for another Django film, I would say screw Quentin Tarantino's chronology and just take Jamie Foxx's Django, pair him up with Franco Nero's actual Django.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
And have Franco Nero's Django be like the badass.
Django into the multiverse.
Yes,
You
yes,
could
yes,
you
yes.
could just have that, and like Django, Jamie Foxx is kind of showing up for not being such a badass because he isn't.
No.
He's only a badass for like a little bit.
Oh, to have him learn from our Django would be
Ooh.
unbelievable. This sort of Yoda to Luke sequel apprentice sort of YAML for it.
And I think the thing is, the greatest bit would be if you'd have like, obviously we're screenwriters or hope to be,
Yes.
or in the field of film. Just to have like, because of how badass the character is, the obvious choice because of the mentor and kind of student thing. The obvious choice is to have like the mentor die, and Franco Nero would go out in a blaze of glory. But I think for the character of Django, if you were to do it right, you'd have to have Franco Nero going out in a blaze of glory, and then just walk back in calmly and be like, "Yeah, it's nothing.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
I've done this a few hundred times."
Yeah.
I've done this without hands. I don't
Yeah.
see where that would block me.
It's just
Hmm.
bit of a weird kind of tangent there.
Honestly,
No, yeah, but
theoretical
I'm all
film.
for it.
Yeah, it's what we do, isn't it? That's
But-
us. It's just
I mean, like after watching the original Django, like I've just been thinking about like writing a western, just constantly.
You know, the
It's-
amount of iconic scenes that you can pick out and just like deconstruct
But the thing is,
is just
they're so simple. Like
Hmm.
Django's so simple, but it's such a good watch. So like, if you were to do that,
perfect. You just have to sort of abide by the rules, and that's what sort of helps it to start with.
so my base idea was a bunch of random blokes who are all named after Western stars, and they've all forgotten how they're in this place, but they've done something wrong. At the end of the film, you find out that they're actually cowboys abducted by aliens.
What? Was this on the spot? Was this a passion project? Was
Pretty
this...
much on the spot. Like,
Oh, I couldn't tell. No, it was very well thought out, and
it was no, but the thing is, right? The idea was, I was thinking like, oh yeah, you've got like, they know their names, but they can't remember where they're from. They've got like Western gear and Western guns, but it seems to be like modern day. So it's kind of like,
oh right,
how are they here?
it's similar to The Hangover
Yeah,
in that they're somewhere, but they have no idea where they are, how they got there.
so
you know.
obviously the end would be like, it'd be like one of those very kind of cliche Western like things, and at the end you just kind of like go, and it was all aliens, just to like really push the cliches in there, like, or even they wake up and it's a dream. The classic ones.
It's all a dream.
Yeah, just
oh god,
perfect.
and it was all a dream.
Hmm.
It was all a dream, creative. God,
That's how
I
you
don't know
end
what
the
sort of
story.
Western I'd want to tell if we were
Yeah.
like, we sort of nailed it down that we had to do them. I feel like I get bored of I think the death of the Westerns as the thing was people just started sticking to the checklist way too much and every Western was the same.
Oh yeah. But
So you've got to though, which is a big problem. And I hope to God all Western stories have not been told. Like, I mean, they could have been, because but I hope to God
doubt
that there's
they have.
sometime they've got to bring them back.
Thing is, you can set a Western in the modern day,
Yeah.
and you could do a Western in a ton of different stories. You could do a rom-com Western if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You really
I mean,
could.
Reservoir
that, yeah.
Dogs is basically a Western.
Oh, it is. It's a robbery.
If you think
gone
about it,
wrong.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
like,
it's literally, it's like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It's one of those. It's especially like, you got like a wounded. You've got like someone they hold up in the little shack where they know that the like enforcers and stuff are coming. It's all the tick list, but it's just Tarantino's
Yeah.
magic where he's like, you know what, 1980s weird looking 1950s America.
1990s, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, the 90s. But he's like, right, we're doing an 80s, 50s
It's weird.
America, all in suits, all slick back hair, but it's a Western. Like, sign me up. Get
I'm
it
gonna-
tattooed on my back.
I'm going to say this right now. This is now no longer the Django episode. It's the Django and Westerns and Stuff episode.
Let's do it.
That's the title
Yeah.
of the film, yeah.
Just
The
because-
Magnificent Djangos and Westerns and Sevens.
Yeah, Stuff. It's just the Django 7.
Beautiful.
But yeah, I think because this is quite an interesting conversation just about like Westerns in general,
Yeah.
especially from three people who haven't.
Something I
seen
have to
Westerns.
say is that apart from Back to
Yes.
apart from Back to the Future 3, I haven't seen any westerns.
I have seen that, but I can't.
Wow.
Like,
I mean, the greatest Western of all time, Back to the Future 3.
Oh
God,
yeah,
that's so
absolutely.
tough, man. My dad is like a super fan. So like, you know, I've just got like every time I'm sleeping, like I'll roll over in the night and I'll be like John Wayne, and then like wake up. Like, it's one of those. It's a problem now. I've seen that many.
I just never gave the genre a chance.
Exactly. It's tough though because by seeing one, you sort of know how all of them go.
but the thing is, it's a very American medium,
Oh yeah.
which is why I think the spaghetti western like Django, it's different
Mm.
because I think that's the problem. I think with like Hollywood a bit because of the fact that there's so many films that are set in America, or even if
Very
they're not
true.
set in America, they have to bring it back to America at some point.
Yeah, by having an American character.
It's like just as a little bit of a little bit of a thing. Could be even called a western, but the Italian Job. So
Yeah, I see where you're going.
yeah, so the original Italian Job, right? Yeah, amazing film. Michael Caine and whatnot. And then you go to 2003, is it? Are we just
Yes.
Of the remake.
yeah?
I believe it was 3 or 4, something like that.
2003. So basically, that film, it has nothing to do with the Italian Job, the original.
No.
It's like America.
It's a
grabbed
Fast
this
and
great
Furious
thing.
Mission Impossible clone, isn't it? Like,
Oh, it's not good. Really, it's not. Like,
Mm.
because you look at the Italian Job, the original. It's an amazing film. It's so
Oh,
like,
sublime, yeah.
yeah, just it's such a good film, and I just yeah, not trying to like kind of bash the kind of remake, but
No.
it didn't really do anything like new as such. They tried to
Yeah.
bring it to
No.
one day of like hacking and stuff, but even then, the original kind of had the hacking and stuff.
I think that's. Does it have Ed Norton in?
Yeah, and
I think I read somewhere that he hated every second of it.
Oh yeah, probably. He hates everything.
Well, yeah, that's a solid way.
He actually
Just
hates
imagine.
acting.
Really?
It's a perfect mindset to have as an actor, of course.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So to bring it back to westerns. Once
Straight,
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
To Django
I mean, we've always been there,
westerns.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go too far off, but basically, Django to have kind of inspired over 30 different like films with the name, and it isn't the film; it's the character because he's such a simple character. Like, you know, the guy who he lost his wife, he's mysterious, he has a vendetta essentially, and it's not relatable, but it's relatable enough where you're like, yeah. I can get behind this guy.
Have you guys played Red Dead Redemption 2?
I'm playing it at the moment.
I haven't yet.
Okay, so Dom, of course, you'd know Arthur Morgan
Greatest character ever.
because he basically fits most of the stuff you just said.
Oh, he does.
You imprint yourself on him because you're given just enough to like him, but not enough to be like, oh no, but he wouldn't do that. Oh no, he wouldn't say something like that. You don't quite know the situations he'll fall into line with. And that's the sort of perfect character for this sort of Western.
That's the greatest thing. Because I was playing it earlier, And if you don't know the game, there's an honor level on it, and mine is not very good because of reasons. But basically, I was doing a mission, and he was like saying he was going to leave some like German people, like just because they like been attacked or something.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and his friend was like, "Why would why would you leave them? That's not like you." And it's just like, maybe you don't know me, and that's like this. That's like the stereotypical like Western like, I have more mysteries than you kind of can see on the face.
And I'm not going to tell you them because it ruins it.
Yeah,
exactly. It adds dimension to it.
and it's like the difference between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Django is Roger Clark, the guy who plays Arthur Morgan, spent 5 years working on that game. I don't think Frank O'Neill spent 5 years working on Django.
Not quite.
But,
No.
But yeah, like it's a weird genre. Like, I think the idea is the story, like the lawless kind of thing of like, oh, but there's like this good person who's not all that good, but is good, who kind of comes in, and it's like he or she, usually he, like in westerns, cause it's
especially with the product of the time.
Yeah. But,
Yes.
it's like they come in, they save the damsel in distress. Usually, they rob some people, they save some people. It's like, if you were to do that, like Reservoir Dogs, or like The Italian Job's probably not a western.
That doesn't matter. We just sort of gloss over.
It's about a gang who go and rob something. So
It's more of a heist movie.
It's more of a heist
I'd
movie.
say.
A load of westerns were heist movies before heist movies were heist movies. I'm going to say heist movies again, just to
Heist movies.
make it sound like
Heist movies.
Heist movie. Heist movie. Oh god.
Oh, are you all excited? So, what do you guys? I'll let you guys. Where do you want to take this discussion now?
God, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because as not someone who's not seen the sort of westerns as like of old, Greg, like sort of, I don't know. Would you be interested to see more if they were like more modern?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, saying this, like, watching Django, I'm definitely interested in watching more westerns and discovering the genre more. Definitely.
Is the Hateful Eight? Have you seen?
Oh, what a film!
That yet, Greg? The Tarantino?
Not yet. No, it's one of the 2 Tarantino movies I haven't seen.
What haven't you seen?
What's the other? Just
is
out
it
of pure...
Death Proof?
Jackie Brown.
Oh, Jackie Brown. Right.
Wait, is it Death Proof?
Dom's probably got an argument to say that's a western. Is that where we're going?
Jackie Brown is a western. No, it's not a western. It's not a western. No. Hateful Eight is a western.
See, it's right on the edge, isn't it? It's sort of the Red Dead Redemption era of the western, like just before the end.
I say it's a western because he initially intended it to be a Django sequel.
Oh wow!
But then obviously he kind of thought like, nah. Which is actually weird,
Too cool
because
for
if you look at
sequels.
it, he did Django, and then he did the Hateful Eight. I think, yeah. Wait, was it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that. Like, it was one after the other. So
yeah, it was like there wasn't like a film in between. If you're saying.
So that's quite a weird one. Like, to go for, Tarantino, to go from Reservoir Dogs to, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, and then Kill Bill, and then it was Death Proof or something. Then it was Inglourious Bastards.
Or Kill Bill Volume 2.
Kill Bill Volume 2, 1 and 2 were together, I think.
Oh, right, yeah, they're very similar.
Yeah, like one after another. Yeah.
What was the other one?
Inglourious
Bastards, then it was Django, then it was Hateful Eight, then it was Once Upon a Time, and then the next one, whatever. But
Star Trek or whatever it's going to be.
Something. But to go from Inglourious Bastards, which is not a Western, Although some might argue it is.
However, you're saying that as a joke. However, as soon as you've said that, it's like it is a proper Western tale.
It is. But then
it's a Western war film.
it is, but it isn't.
Exactly, you're right, Greg. He acknowledges it as well. He's like, "This is my my ragtag group of." So it's like,
Yeah.
it's probably the influence again. I feel
So,
like you could,
yeah.
honest to God, make an argument for any of his films
Yeah,
because he
that's-
said
oh.
himself.
Wow. But yeah, to go from that to Django, both starring Christoph Waltz in a Oscar-winning supporting role,
Oh yeah,
which is impressive, 2 films in a row. But then to go to from one Western to another Western, like it's a bit out of kind of style for him, isn't it? Which really must show the influence that this genre has had.
you could argue he temporarily revived the whole genre as well.
Yeah.
Because
What
there
Magnificent
was
Seven?
the failed Magnificent. I've seen it and it was all right.
It's on Amazon,
Not as good as the
so-
original. However, I'd recommend you check it out as well because it's a good Western, but there's not enough like groundbreaking modern Westerns like Django, like Hateful Eight, and he sort of is the lead contributor to the possible revival. I'm saying it is in a time of like
Well,
the superhero dominated world.
I
so-
would say to not go against that, but also kind of go against it.
Sure.
I would say that kind of Red Dead Redemption, the series, had a kind of hand in bringing interest into it.
Most definitely.
Because I think the thing is, those games are so successful because it's probably more fun to play it than to watch it because you're watching it over and over and over again.
I think you've cracked it for sure.
Yeah. So like a superhero movie, yeah, it'd be fun to play it, and I really want to,
Yeah.
but to watch a superhero movie, it's going to be different each time.
Yeah.
No, totally, yeah.
That is, you've like fully hit the nail on the head. It's a crazy sort of idea.
Right, that's it,
'Cause
guys.
would you rather watch 5 films about robbing a train or play one mission?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just to have a medium essentially where you can do it all.
Yeah.
You can have every Western ever made in one thing.
That's like goosebumps, like on the skin level of like that's what we need and that's what we want, and it's what we got, arguably.
Yeah. So there are some genres like superhero movies. You're never going to get a open world game where it's the whole of Marvel and look, Batman just came in for a crossover event. You're
Because
not
why
going to
not?
get that. Yeah, you're not going to get that. Although I am hoping for a NetherRealm Marvel versus DC game, it probably is, it's unlikely, and that's the thing. Like Westerns aren't as unlikely. Like in not just in gaming, but in everything because it's such a simple, like design essentially.
As you said, it's easy, and if Hollywood knows they can make money from easy, they're going to do it.
I mean, I think I just rambled on for about 5 minutes there and said basically nothing. But
However, it sounded good.
yeah. So, having not watched Westerns, any of us really, it probably wasn't the best genre to choose so early on. But I think we've had a good, we've been able to say some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We've
And I
got some
think
good
that's
stuff out of it.
So, as we don't have a huge amount to say on Westerns, and I don't want to just have us rambling about it, because we have basically just rambled about it for 10 minutes.
And I hope they enjoyed it.
Hope they enjoyed it. I'm not going to end the episode, because we're only on 49 minutes. So
I mean, Dom, we only exist online. This is it. Like, once you end the recording, we're completely dead to the world until this
Back to the void.
Pretty much.
Back to the void we go.
Oh.
Whee!
Oh my god.
But basically, what do you guys want to kind of do in future episodes?
Ooh, man, that's tough. Like, I was looking in these little like the off season between episodes, I was looking at sort of the theories. I love the theory sides of films and sort of maybe even lists. Like maybe sometimes we could do a shorter pod where we, come up with a question
Do you know
and
what?
sort of
I'm just going Django.
Django. You're just deleting it from your memory.
Just gonna say.
Do you know what I mean? Like just lists of like maybe there's like a question of, our all-time favorite films, and we like create a list each, and then we sort of just share, just something to help them get to know us a little bit as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. To like let them know our tastes.
Yeah.
So, right. I don't know. Lists about westerns.
What's that?
Yeah. A list about westerns. 10 great modern westerns by BFI.
Right, I'm already gonna guess. Like, there's just definitely gonna be like 310 to Yuma. There's gonna be like Django. There's gonna be Hateful Eight. It's literally gonna be all the mainstream ones that we got.
Yeah, things like True Grit. Yeah.
True Grit is an excellent film. Lone Ranger, maybe.
Number 10.
Right.
1995. Dead
Ooh.
Man. Director Jim Jarmusch or something.
Jim Jarmusch. Yeah, he's a great director. He did Coffee and Cigarettes, The Dead Don't Die, Patterson, and Only Lovers Left Alive. Yeah.
It has.
Is it like a spoof kind of thing then?
This film? I don't know, but it has Johnny Depp and John Hurt in it, and Crispin Glover.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And Robert Mitchum in his final role.
Oh, bless. Oh.
I don't know who he is, though, so...
Robert Mitchum's like an classic.
Then we have 1996's Lone Star. Director John Sayles. John Sayles, that's it. John Sayles is the guy that they've apparently attached to the Django Lives.
Doing the third, yeah.
I've managed
nice.
I managed to loop it back.
Wow, Look at us go. Look at us doing
Yeah, full circle. We're podcasting.
We do be podcasting.
Then we've got Tears of the Black Tiger from 2000.
I've really miscalculated the ones that are going to be on this list, haven't I?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Then we've got one from Ron Howard in 2003.
No idea.
Any idea, Greg?
Not a clue.
The Missing.
Oh, I've heard of that actually. Might be good.
Tommy Lee Jones. And Kate Blanchett.
Oh.
Then we've got
Damn.
The Proposition 2005 by John Hillcoat. It's the one that's in Australia. I did hear about this the other day.
Oh, an Australian Western.
Ray Winstone, Guy Pearce, Emily Watson, and John Hurt.
Oh,
John
I've
Hurt
heard
again.
Of that. John Hurt loved.
Loved. Sadly, he's gone.
So, yeah, a hero.
Oh, this one sounds interesting. The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, 2005. Director Tommy Lee Jones, starring Tommy Lee Jones.
Wow. Nice.
So
watched by only Tommy Lee Jones.
At home.
yeah, probably. Then we have one that has a rather long title. And
is it Jesse James?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it is. Yeah, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which has a few references in Red Dead.
Yeah, it's a really big one. It's Brad Pitt, isn't it?
Brad Pitt, Casey Affleck.
Damn.
That's all.
All right, what number? What are we on? What are the last ones?
Oh, I forgot that. I forgot to count. Something. No Country for Old Men.
Oh, great! No, yeah.
Oh, brilliant film. Yeah.
That's like another modern.
Yeah, no, I've seen that one.
I guess you can class.
The Coen Brothers. If you didn't know that. I have not seen this film, but yeah. Meek's Cutoff, 2010. Kelly Reinhardt.
Oh God, I'm a disappointment
Reichardt.
on my list.
It was Django Unchained, number 1.
Ooh,
There we go.
There we go. We knew that was
Finally.
coming.
Yeah, all comes back to Django.
Oh, so it was inspired by the likes of Sergio Corbucci's Django. Surprisingly, I didn't know that. Yeah,
wow.
and The
Imagine
Great
talking about
Silence.
Great Silence.
Oh, and the 1975 adaptation of Carl Onstott's novel Mandingo. Well.
Wow. What was it? The Great what? The Great...
The Great Silence, 1968.
I believe that's another Corbucci film.
It might be. I don't know.
You're probably right. Yes, you are right. Oh my God, it looks like another rip-off of, like, Fistful. What's the other names? Is it The Man Who Had No Name? Like, the main character just looks like Clint Eastwood, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Brilliant.
BFI has BFI has some good lists. 5 essential London films.
Damn.
Just gonna do some lists.
Maybe we save, honestly, to have a look at some of the lists. Maybe that on a podcast where we do our own lists of, our couple favourite films and stuff like that. Maybe we have
do
like
a list
the list
episode.
special. Yeah. Got to save some of the good ones.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but these films on this list for London are older films, so it's not like modern stuff.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot about. It seems the most recent lists they've done are early May, and a lot about Japan, like Japanese stuff. So
Lost in Translation is like my favorite Japanese like film ever, maybe. So yeah, I'd happily check that out at some point.
So I think
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, you spilt that, man. So
what time are we sort of looking on there?
We are on 57 minutes. And not sure whether we want to. Not sure whether we should end it right here or whatever.
It'd probably be a good time to get the ratings in, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Great show.
So this is going up on YouTube. We also have a number of different places it's on. Spotify mainly. I'm not going to list the other ones because there's loads.
Wherever you find your podcast, you can find us, basically.
Basically, if you go to our Instagram or our Facebook page, both at Today in Film or Today in Film Podcast, you will find the links all on there and potentially on the YouTube bio, YouTube description, although that remains to be seen. So, I think that would be it for today's episode.
Dom, just before we go, what would you rate the film?
Django.
Yes, the original 1966. What are we going with?
I'm going to say a 7 because although it has because of the audio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But 7 because it's like I just enjoyed it. But I would give it more if it was actually like a better film in itself.
Yeah.
But
it's very good for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was saying earlier. But what do you guys think then? Greg?
I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, like Dom said, very much enjoyed it. The violence very much surprised me. Didn't expect a guy to have his ear chopped off, but there we go. Yeah, brilliant.
Nice pass off there, Harry. Just
deflect again, just to get myself out the shooting line to come up with something vaguely tangible to listen to. Yeah, I guess I'd agree. I'd probably say, you know what, 7.25. I'm the middleman sitting on the fence. Yeah, anything between 7 and 7.5 is genuinely the same for me. It's a very enjoyable experience on its own. If you're not a fan of westerns, I think you'd still get your time's worth. And it was nice to just see something a little bit different, wasn't it?
It's a nice little entry point to the genre, I think.
Perfect, great. Oh, excellent. Home run with that one, honestly.
I think that will do us for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed listening, and hopefully you'll tune in next week when we are talking about Cat in the Hat, actually. Directed by
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone and starring John Travolta.
John Travolta
Let's do
and
it.
the cast of
Yes.
Glee.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Bye.
And